Hey everyone, it's day 2 of Endless Delve. Welcome back to another recap video, and I today just want to show you what I have done so far. And to do that, I'll start with a note. I'm at depth 158, monster level 83, which is the max, and we're gonna go over here. And you're gonna see what I have. Now, one of the things I found, I don't actually know the name of the unique, but it's an axe that gives you rampage. So I start off by doing a weapon swap. Now I'm carrying this axe, right? And now if I kill any enemy, I get rampage. There, okay, I swap back, reactivate my shield aura, and now we're running around with rampage. Which is quite good, right? Because it gives you a lot of movement speed. I think it gives you some damage too. And it makes the whole experience a little smoother. So I'm really happy with that find. It is quite nice. Oh, I'm out of dynamite. Fine. But apart from that, the build hasn't changed too much. I realized that yesterday I didn't really talk too much about like how the game or how the build works, I suppose. But what I'm typically doing is I'm bringing my hydrosphere in front. If I see like a pack, I bring in a hydrosphere. This reduces their cold resistance significantly and also chills them. And then I drop my Coldsnap on where the hydrosphere is. Right? Hydrosphere in, Coldsnap. I'm using Vortex on the left mouse button, so it's always casting, so everybody pursuing me is already getting, you know, blasted away by the Vortex. And then this is a little bit how it goes, right? I bring in the hydrosphere, I cast Coldsnap, I run around with Vortex killing stuff, and that's mostly it. So that's the build. It is in that sense still the same. Then let's get over a few other things, right? So I'm gonna go back to camp, and maybe once again in slow motion when there's no enemies around. So I just walk around and I'm casting these vortexes, which is nice because it's on the left mouse button. When I see a group of enemies, I put the hydrosphere in front, I cast Coldsnap on it. Now, half of the time or so, it actually activates the hydrosphere, so that it starts pulsating, right? See, like this. When it does this, it actually starts to debuff the enemies with cold exposure. And that's basically it. So it's two buttons in that sense. It's Hydrosphere and it is the Coldsnap. I also have for enemies that are a bit tougher, I have the Frost Bomb over here. It doesn't last long. Maybe I should get an increased duration on it or something. That would actually help, but it's over here. Frost Bomb also reduces enemy cold exposure by 25% or something. Alright. I think first we start with the gear, because I got quite a few upgrades. I got rid of all the starter weapons, so I found a somewhat decent wand. +1 level to all cold spell gems. That's the main thing that I want over here, right? It's got a few more things, but most of these are completely useless. The cold damage, for example, 34 to 61, that's local, so that doesn't do anything for me. But the +1 level to cold spell skill gems is really good. I got a Hubris Circlet, which I found from an Eldritch chest. And I basically spammed it with Chaos Orbs until I got Socketed Gems are supported by level 18 Conk Effect, which effectively makes this a 5-link. And I linked it with, where is it? Coldsnap, Added Cold, Hypothermia, and Efficacy. So now I have a 5-link. It's got, you know, some mana on it, some energy shield, and some res. Otherwise, it's not great, but it is a big upgrade from what I had. Amulet, nothing to write home about, just a bunch of stats. This is a shield, also with +1 level to all cold scale gems. So now I have +2. Pretty good. Like I said yesterday, I was going to hunt for a frostbite on hit. I found a Veritania's ring. Was that Redeemer, I think? And I also spammed it with essences, with delve stuff, with chaos orbs, with alchemy orbs, until I got cursed enemies with frostbite on hit. Otherwise, completely bad ring. But, you know, the curse is very, very good because after I curse enemies, they also explode. Then I just found a 5 link, corrupted. So it came like this, but it's not bad. It's got some resistances, got a little bit of life, some evasion, some energy shield, and it allows me to do a 5 link. So now I have my Vortex with efficacy, added cold, inspiration, which I think is a good idea, but I'm not entirely sure yet, and hypothermia. Clarity is the 6th socket. I'm still using this. Then, this is also quite interesting. I found a Shaper ring, and it can trigger Assassin's Mark when you hit a rare enemy. What that does is, whenever you hit an enemy with Assassin's Mark, you gain mana and life, which is fine. And it gives you a power charge when you kill them. So, this is power charge generation as well. And then I thought, you know what, let's just corrupt it, see what happens. And I rolled cannot be ignited. And I was like, wait a minute, this is very interesting, right? Now I am ignite immune. That's one of the 3 elemental illnesses, right? Ailments. I'm already cold immune because I am an occultist, right? And over here, I cannot be chilled and I cannot be frozen. So I already have that. So all I needed was to get also shock immune, which I did with a spell, which is over here, Tempest Shield, right? Enchant your shield with the power of storms, which lashes out to deal arcing lightning damage to attackers when you block them. It gives me a spell block, which is really good, 25%, and immunity to shock. So I could get rid now of the purity of elements, which I've done. I found fingerless silk gloves, pretty decent, some spell damage. I got a heavy belt with more resists, but no life. It's very hard to get like life and resists on items because there's no way to craft anything like it unless you do fossil crafting. But even then, it's just really difficult. These are decent boots, but once again, no life. So my life is at 4200. It's not the end of the world. I got some energy shield as well. But that's the gear. And in the offhand, as you can see, if I weapon swap, I have this one. That's the name, Sinvicta's Medal. And it gives me Rampage, right? So I kill something with this because all other skills are still working. I can still cast Coldsnap. I can still walk around with Vortex. So this is plenty to kill like a few white enemies. And that's all I need. I swap back. I reactivate with right mouse button my shield, right? This one, Tempest Shield. And I'm off to the races, which is great. I fixed my flasks. So I have an instant corrupting blood and regular bleeding immunity one. I found enough to make all of the other ones work. So I got a quartz flask, which gives me phasing, which is great. Used when charges reach full. I got a movement flask, charges reach full. I got a silver flask with onslaught because it's just really nice to have some onslaught. And a granite flask of tapping for some armor. This is just 1500 flat armor. It's pretty decent. And I could actually try and roll, instead of the spell damage, I should probably try and roll additional increased armor on this thing for some additional armor scaling, because that's going to help out quite a bit. Alright, that is the gear and the gems. Otherwise, nothing much changed. So I did get Tempest Shield. I got Summon Skitterbolts because I had some room. So this is another 15% extra damage, right? Because the enemies are shocked now. Defiance Banner is still there for armor. It's kind of pointless still, but, you know, maybe. And Herald of Ice. Most of my gems made it to level 20, so I have qualityed them, right? So you can see now that most of the gems actually have quality on them, at least when it makes sense. Inspiration I just found because of the 5 link, so this is still leveling. But added cold, 1820, right? Vortex, 1720. And I got +2, so pretty good stuff overall, I would say. And then all that remains, I think, is the tree. This didn't change. I was already at level 75 last time, yesterday. I got some additional stuff over here. I think this you haven't seen yet, maybe. So the Glancing Blows I think was there. I got this entire node because I want as much spell block and regular block as I can, and the LE res is kind of fine too. I got another life wheel over here. I took this life wheel over here. I took some armor and some more life. I took the damage over time multipliers. Here 3 more, and the mastery. 10% less damage taken from damage over time. Then I think you saw most of this. I took the Mystic Bulwark, more spell block, and clarity mana reservation. And I went down here. So that is it. I think most of this stuff you have already seen. I will turn off my camera and show you the character overview. Offense doesn't really mean too much, I think. Chill effectiveness 90%. Honestly, I don't entirely know what that means. But fine. I do some cold pen, but it's not significant. I am res capped. Yesterday I was indeed not res capped. I fixed that today. So, yeah, it's okay, right? Chaos res, pretty bad. I hardly ever encounter chaos enemies, I think. But, you know, when you do, it's problematic. But good luck trying to find chaos res. I could change my my occultist and say, for example, like, well, you know, maybe I don't mind the additional curse. And instead I want 60 chaos res and more chaos damage. But I haven't really died much. So I think I'm actually fine with the additional curse. Especially if I manage to get an additional curse with like elemental weakness. But we'll see if that happens. So res capped. The attack block is now not capped anymore because I got a different shield. So it is only 64. But, you know, I might be able to fix that later down the line. Spell block is still exactly at 75. So that's great. And I am now Ignite, Chill, Freeze, and Shock Immune without Purity of Elements. Got a little bit of movement speed. And you can say, for example, whenever I click my Flask, I get 32% damage reduction. Which is okay. I think the plan otherwise for today is try and delve a little bit deeper, because while this is the update build mostly, now I'm actually getting into more interesting regions. So I'm at level 161. So yeah, I'm gonna try and make it down quite a bit. The build seems very solid. There's still quite a bit of scaling because my gems are still leveling, and I'm sure I can find some additional gear. So maybe tomorrow evening or something, or maybe in 2 days, because tomorrow I need to work again, I can make another update and show you guys what happened. If you enjoyed that, let me know. And apart from that, I hope you're also having fun in Endless Delve. I think it's a pretty good event. I don't think I will be playing all 10 days. Seems a bit much. Playing some other games as well, which you will hear about soon. But yeah, I'm still enjoying myself and I'm still playing because of it. Thanks for watching once again. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.